How does Stanford perpetuate the service complex?
So, this past summer, I spent 8 weeks on an Impact Abroad trip with 7 other Stanford students. This was a program that was fully financed through the Haas Center, so the Haas Center paid $5,000 for each of us to go to Nicaragua for a summer doing social entrepreneurship service work. And we took a course before we went in the spring, and we met every week for like around 2 hours. And the funny thing is, we actually didn't, you would think that like a lot of the pre-trip coursework would be about learning about like the history of Nicaragua or the culture, and we spent a lot of time actually talking about our goals and like ethical and effective service, which in the moment sounded really good because it was really important for us to go over this information, talk about like how our thoughts and opinions aligned with this. But when we actually got there, everything that we did kind of went against these ideas and principles of ethical and effective service. So a lot of the work we did wasn't very impactful. It wasn't really for the best interest of the community. We did a lot of volunteerism, and a lot of the things we did seemed to like maybe harm the community more than help them. And just thinking back about all the discussions we had and all the TED Talks we watched and articles we read about the harmfulness of problematic service, it just seemed really hypocritical for us to be doing these actions. And when my friend and I would try to bring it up, we just got shut down by our trip leader, and everyone else in our group didn't really seem to see the problems with this, and they just wanted to continue with the work and like kind of get it over with, which I thought was a really bad mentality. When you're investing like almost $40,000 for these students to go abroad, it's ridiculous to me. So when we got back, we talked to one of the program directors and the people who basically organize these trips about how this type of work was really, really wrong, and we didn't think Stanford should be paying that much money or even advertising it. And he basically said there was nothing he can do, which is wrong because he organizes these programs. And the program's still going to be running next year. It's probably going to it's going to run for the next like couple of years, and there's still going to be funding for it. And just like our concerns weren't really heard out, even though they seem to be concerns that are very like ingrained systemically and not really like a one-time occurrence, even though that's what they made it seem to be.
And wait, did you say
This problem that we're seeing through problematic service through the Haas Center isn't really just like a Haas Center problem or a Stanford problem. It's kind of the way I think Western society has taught us in terms of like our education and what we're being taught in the classroom and who's teaching us, and just so many things, colonialism and how we're bred to think about the rest of the world, and service and white savior complex. And it's something that I think will take a lot of time for us to fix.